Hello students, welcome to Legacy IAS Academy. Today we are going to discuss about a matter that has come into focus in relation to recent controversy regarding cricketer Arshdeep Singh, and in this regard today we are going to discuss in detail that what is the content moderation policy of Wikipedia and its parent company Wikimedia, and what are the various ways and measures that is taken by these companies to ensure that any kind of false or violent or we can say content that is not pertaining to truth is hosted on the website. So let us try to understand that why we are talking about this particular issue. So recently India had summoned officials of Wikipedia in response to the cricketer Arshdeep Singh controversy, where in a recently held match he dropped a catch, and after he dropped the catch some of the notorious element went on the Wikipedia page of the cricketer and edited the page and have added that he is a Khalistani. In this regard, the Ministry of State for Electronics and IT, Rajiv Chandrasekhar, has tweeted that no intermediary operating in India can permit this kind of misinformation. The reason behind is simple, that government believes that hosting or we can say having such kind of information on a public platform is basically violation of government's expectation of creating a safe and trusted internet. So it is in this context, let us try to understand that what is the role and what is, if any, liability of Wikimedia Foundation, that is the owner of Wikipedia, in such instances. So let us start and delve deeper into the issue of content moderation. So let us first try to understand what is Wikipedia. Now Wikipedia is something that all of us have been using for extended period of time, at least since the time of its formation since 2001. It has come a long way and it has become a kind of household name. Anyway, if you have to describe Wikipedia, the best way to describe it is as a multilingual free online encyclopedia. Multilingual means it is published and the information is available in several of the languages. Free means that you do not have to pay any kind of charge, any kind of fee to use the information available on the Wikipedia. And the most important point about Wikipedia that makes it different from the conventional encyclopedia is that the information is basically contributed by huge number or community of volunteers from all across the world, and this is done via open collaboration. That means in conventional encyclopedia you have the pre-verified or pre-decided number of editors of this encyclopedia. However, in Wikipedia anyone can go, anyone can change, edit or put extra information, even create new pages about some information that is not present in Wikipedia at that time. So basically these community of volunteers from all across the world use wiki-based editing system and it has created a free online encyclopedia. Now the main advantage of allowing access to all people from world to come and edit the information on Wikipedia, obviously it has led to democratization of knowledge, but at the same time on the downside it also has question mark the reliability of information that is present on the Wikipedia. If anyone can come, edit and put new information, then obviously there is always a high chance that some information can be false, something that can be misinformation can also be put along the put on the Wikipedia. So this is the problems and challenges. So what about the content moderation practices? We have to understand Wikipedia do not have any right or do not have any right of the right to the information that is published on its platform. However, it has taken certain measures to moderate the content or to ensure that the false content is not provided by Wikipedia. So in this case, Wikipedia is following three different types of protection measure. The first is something that is called as full protection measure. The full protection measure is a measure where the particular page is secure to such an extent that only few administrators who have been chosen by Wikimedia's internal review policies and overall we can say review mechanism of the community can be edited by administrators only. These are the pages which are given, the pages which are given full protection are those pages which have higher chances of vandalism. The lesser degree of protection is something that is called as semi-protection. And the pages which are semi-protected on the Wikipedia platform, this cannot be edited by unregistered users. That means if you want to edit the information of these pages, you have to first register on the Wikipedia. And the lowest degree of protection is something that is called as pending changes. So pending changes basically means that even if someone or if some page is open to be edited, even after editing, the edition or the updated work will not be visible unless and until the changes made has been accepted by editor who has been granted those rights. These editors are also called as trusted editors. So in the present case of Arshdeep Singh controversy, the Wikipedia has made his page as pending changes page, where only trusted editors can go and edit the information about him. So this is about the content moderation policy adopted by Wikipedia. Now, what is the role of Wikimedia Foundation as far as the data or information on Wikipedia is concerned? So first of all, though, as we discussed before as well, that Wikimedia does not have right on the data or information on Wikipedia. However, as it legally controls the server on which Wikipedia's content is hosted, it has certain leeways that it can influence the availability of information, it can influence the generation of new information, or can re-edit the old information. At the same time, Wikipedia also exerts control by having control over system administrators. System administrators have been given power where they can re-edit the pages, where they can block the users who have been known for putting wrong information or misinformation, and at the same time they can decide that what kind of protection can be granted to each of these pages. So by legally hosting the server and by having control over system administrator, Wikimedia has certain leeway, certain influence on the content of Wikipedia. However, it also mentions most of the time in press statement that Wikimedia generally does not contribute, monitor or delete content unless and until it is required by the law, or unless and until it becomes a kind of dire circumstances arises. So what can we say about the legal liability of Wikimedia Foundation if any false information is being hosted by its server or on its platform? So as per the prevalent international rule of law that generally deals with the online content, the Wikimedia is an example of an intermediary. Intermediary is someone who is only hosting the information and does not have right over the information hosted. So as being an intermediary, as per the international law, they are endowed with immunity from the user generated content they host. That means even if some misinformation is being put on by the user, Wikimedia cannot be held liable for that misinformation. Now question arises that why they cannot be held liable. So simple reason is there, because Wikimedia is just a hosting platform and such a huge volume of information is being put on the Wikipedia every day, such a huge volume of editing is being done all across the world on the Wikipedia every day. It is very much humanly impossible to monitor the changes and updation in the content. Second reason is that if Wikimedia is found to be or made liable for such misinformation, they will be involved in numerous legal battles, and these numerous legal battles will make their operations at that scale almost infeasible. So it is due to these reasons the Wikimedia Foundation cannot be held accountable or legally liable for any wrong information. However, there is another legal view that is prevailing here, and that legal view says that since Wikimedia by hosting servers and also by having control over the system administrators, they are basically having a power to contribute, monitor or delete content. This is not something that is imaginary power, but this is also have been seen in past instances when such information which is harmful in nature have been erased or have been deleted by the administrators. So thus Wikimedia have power and they can exercise power to contribute, monitor or delete content. And it is due to this power they basically can be held responsible for the illegal content which is being hosted on their platform. So these are the two prevailing views about the legal liability, whether they should be legally liable, or if not, then on what account they should not be legally liable, and if they are legally liable, then what can be the basis behind that. Now coming to the next topic, that as far as India is concerned, what does India's law on hosting digital content is concerned? Now this law is not only applicable on Wikipedia, this law is applicable on platforms such as YouTube as well. So the main law that is governing the digital content in India is Section 79 of Information Technology Act that was passed in year 2000 and further amended in year 2008. And as per this law, there is a clause that is mentioned here that is called as Safe Harbor Clause. Safe Harbor Clause basically provides impunity to the hosting platforms such as Wikipedia and YouTube to not be liable or to not get penalized for having some content that can be harmful, the content that can be false information that has been put by the users. However, there is this catch is there. The safe harbor clause will only be applied if the platform is abiding by due diligence requirement that has been specified under the Act and rules. Now, the most important rule under the IT Act is something that is called as IT Intermediary Guidelines and Digital Media Ethics Code Rules 2021. And as per this rule, if any hosting platform is found to be hosting patently false and untrue information, or it is written in or published in any form with the intent to mislead or harass a person, entity or agency, or the information has been put with the objective of any kind of financial gain or even to cause any injury to any person, then the hosting platform will have to take the appropriate action as deemed fit by the law of the land. And in present Arshdeep Singh controversy, this is something that we have to understand, that the information of him being Khalistani that has been put on his page will definitely fall under causing injury to the person. Injury, not physical injury, but obviously the mental and psychological injury. Now, it's not that the platforms can always be held liable if such kind of information is published on their platform. The cases where they can be held liable is again mentioned in the IT Rules 2021, where it has been clearly said that if platform or the organization have actual knowledge of such information being present, and despite that if they have not taken any actions against that. Now, how can we determine that whether the organization has actual knowledge of such misinformation present on their platform? So actual information or actual knowledge they can have if they are notified about that particular instance by either a court order or even through an order of the appropriate agency, and it has demanded the removal of the offending comment. So once this has been done, now the platform becomes legally liable because now they have the actual knowledge that such kind of information exists on their platform, exists on their server. So let us try to understand this, that has Wikimedia been involved in such kind of past cases with India? So answer obviously is yes. It was in year 2020 when Government of India basically said that we can put section 69A or we can charge Wikimedia under section 69A of IT Act 2000 because they have been involved in violating the territorial integrity of India. Now, how Wikimedia is alleged to have violated territorial integrity of India? Because on their platform they have shown the wrong map of Aksai Chin, where they have shown it that the Aksai Chin part is belonging to the China. Basically, the Government of India's belief is, and Government of India's stand on this issue is, the Aksai Chin is a kind of disputed territory because it has been illegally captured by China during in 1962 Indo-China War, and that is why it is a territorial part of India itself. The effect of this was that government said that if Wikipedia does not remove this kind of information, then they can charge under section 69A, they can take action under 69A, and effect of that would have been that Wikipedia would have been blocked from rendering any kind of services in India. So obviously, taking a look at the situation, the Wikipedia editors have removed this information of Aksai Chin being part of China. So what we can say about conclusion from all this discussion we just had is that in previous challenges to the content on Wikipedia, there have been several rulings, not only in India but even in other countries as well, where the Wikimedia Foundation is believed, or Wikimedia Foundation is, we can say, the verdict was given that they do not own the content, obviously, because the content is being produced by the wide number of users all across the world, and that is why, since they do not own the content, they cannot be held legally responsible for any kind of false and misinformation that is on their website. However, there has also been one observation that administrators or editors have taken heed of the content concerns arising out of the situation and have made suitable edit, as we have seen in the case of Arshdeep Singh controversy. So obviously, Wikipedia or Wikimedia cannot be held directly liable for having hosting misinformation, but if such misinformation is brought to their notice, then they are required to remove and re-edit such kind of information. So this is the current standing if as far as the content moderation is concerned, not only for Wikimedia, but even for other platforms such as YouTube as well. So I hope you understood about this particular topic and the role of content moderation in online content and the Wikipedia. That is all for today. Thank you very much.